morning. You're listening to 92.7 Arrow FM, and this is the Nothing Personal Show with Nikki King. And we are part of the Wairarapa Women in Business Facebook group, community, whatever you'd like to call that. And we are 650 plus members now, and that we're all women who have got business in mind or have a business or are planning to start a business, and we're all from Wairarapa. That's the criteria. So if you're a woman in business and you want to join our community, hop over to the Facebook page and join, and we'd love to support you. We do supportive things. We help you with things that are going wrong in your business, things that are going right. You can shout about all your promotions, and it's just a really neat place. We meet up twice a week, once at Don Luciano in Masterton on the third Friday of the month, and that's at 8:30. We have a business breakfast. And on the first Friday of the month, we meet up at Clareville Bakery, down in Clareville, obviously, and that's at 8:30 as well. We just go until everybody has to go, but it's usually about an hour. And thank you very much to my sponsors. We have Jane Burns from Wairarapa Osteopathy, and she has kindly sponsored the show because she believes in what we're doing for women in business. And she has two locations that she practices from. She has a number of people working for her. There's one in Carterton at the Wairarapa Natural Health Clinic on the main street, on High Street, and then there's the other location at the Southfield Clinic in Lincoln Road, and she's awesome. And the other sponsor is my business, Fussbox Designs, and we do a bit of all that digital stuff, you know, social media, etc. Now, this morning I had a last minute change of my plans. I was going to have a lovely lady called Leah Wynn on, but she's got some health problems. So at the last minute, these guys stepped in, and I've had these guys on my show twice before. It's always a lot of fun. A very popular show when we have these guys on. It is Anne-Marie and Barbara from Mini Mutts, Any Mutts, and Real Time Clocks. All those businesses. Is that right, ladies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to, just for the people that are at home who might not have seen the previous shows, do you want to introduce yourself? Do you want to go first, Barbara?
Sure, why not? I'm Barbara Jackson, and I run and own Mini Mutts Daycare in Featherston, where I provide daycare Monday to Friday for people with little dogs, usually up to 10 to 15 kilos. I did try taking larger dogs, but it doesn't quite work out quite so well sometimes.
No.
So yeah, at the moment I have just had my last day for the year on Friday. So I'm still working. But it wasn't such a rushed morning or full-on morning this morning to come here, and that's why it was so easy at the last minute to come.
Thank you very much for doing that. Otherwise I'd been waffling to myself, and you've heard me at home waffle to myself. It's not that interesting. Not as interesting as guests anyway. I'm not going to... Well, I could say I was boring, but I'm not going to. I'm having a positive day today. Okay, and now you do quite a few things as well, don't you, Anne-Marie?
Yes. Hi. Good morning.
Hi.
I do Any Mutts dog walking. So I'm actually contracted to Mini Mutts. So I am, I suppose, like the B. Barb's the A, I'm the B. So I take on the bigger dogs that Barb couldn't take on.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of running a little daycare. Well, it's not really little because they're big dogs.
Yeah. You mean just a few?
A small, big dog daycare.
Yeah. So I just do a max of 7 because otherwise I can't really upset my neighbours.
No.
And they are big dogs. Right now I have 3 shepherds in my truck.
Wow.
Yeah, waiting for me.
Nice.
And then I also do real-time clocks. So real-time clocks are cable real clocks. And I just import the faces and make clocks. And they're quite big.
And they look
awesome.
They look very stunning. They make a great Christmas present. So if you're looking for something last minute, hop over to Real Time Clocks and have a look at them. Have you got any in stock? Or
I've got a couple in stock, and I was going to make a couple today.
Because I'm just telling everybody to go over. You might get a last minute rush on clocks.
So what they see on my page is already sold. So basically it gives them ideas of what actually I do. So I generally have some made up, but I can make them to match your decor. if you need.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for those big, large walls where you need a stunning piece.
Yeah, when you got nothing. And it is a timepiece that sits on your wall. They
Yeah.
are, and not one, like every single clock is different. You'll never see your same clock somewhere else.
That's
at all.
awesome. That's awesome. And nice. I like those artisan products. It's really cool to have something that's unique in your house.
Yeah, yeah, and it's Wairarapa made.
Exactly, made by your fair hands.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And from reusable material because the reels are discarded.
Yes, yeah. So they are cable reels, which electricians and stuff just get rid of them. Some electricians reuse them, but very few and far between. So I get them. So the clock sizes range from 40 centimetres up to 120
Wow.
in diameter. So they're quite big. I've got, I think, 360s, maybe an 80 centimetre sitting at home right now. So I was going to do 2 today. Because I'm like Barb, I'm kind of finished but kind of not. So just got a couple of daycares this week, and then then from Wednesday onwards I'm off.
That's very good.
Yes.
I would say I've got a show planned for next week, so I'm not off until next week. Yeah, I've got marvellous Adi McMaster on next week from Marty Girl. That's always a lot of fun too. So I've got 2 really fun shows. So Barb, coming back to you. So you want to tell me a little bit about where you are in Featherstone and what's going on with Mini Mutts?
Oh, we're just outside of Featherstone, about a K out on the road out to Martinborough.
Yep.
Just a K and a bit, I suppose. And since I last was on the radio show, we've had a sign.
I saw that.
Destroyed.
And it's since been destroyed by the wind.
Well, it's
which-
Featherstone, isn't it?
It is. Unfortunately, what I think happened, because it was hung with D shackles.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I think, because the wind shook it so much, it undid one of them.
Yeah.
And
Twisted it.
yeah, and Anne-Marie came to my rescue, and my neighbour came to my rescue to get it down so it didn't fly off into any oncoming traffic.
No.
Yeah, so we're revisiting how we're going to hang it without that kind of thing happening again.
Because you've got to almost have some play in it because of the wind, but not too much.
Yeah,
It's quite
it
interesting
does,
conundrum.
Because unfortunately the way it has to be positioned, thanks to red tape, shall we say, it has to be facing, basically, the wind comes and just hits it. And so it has to have some kind of movement and that sort of stuff. So we're thinking maybe heavy duty carabiner style things on it, so there's nothing to unscrew.
No, that sounds a good plan.
Yeah, or put some Loctite on it, or something like that. But I'm leaving that up to my sign man, who's actually having to remake just the panel.
Wow.
Because it got so damaged and twisted and whatnot. So while I'm closed for the silly season, it's fine. No need for the sign. But I'm back on board on this from the 7th of January. So
right, okay.
Yeah, so hopefully he'll have it up and ready to go by then.
Yeah. So you got quite a few Mini Mutts with you, haven't you? How many do you have at the moment?
Oh, I've got a client list of about 30 plus.
Wow, that's quite big.
They don't all come to me at once.
Yeah.
I limit myself. I have a cap. I'm resource consented for up to 20.
Yeah.
But usually I cap my own self at about 15.
Yeah, must be quite hard to handle a big pack if it gets too big.
Yeah, it can be, and especially if you get some who, the casual ones who only come occasionally, and they come into the pack. You don't want too many when they join, because they can actually upset the dynamics a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they're not used to the routine of being there often.
Yeah.
And things like that. But and so I need lower numbers kind of when they come, so I can focus on them just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so that they can learn the routine of the day and that sort of thing, which is because the dogs seem to like routine, and they know when something is supposed to happen, and they certainly let me know if I'm late.
Well, dogs are very clever like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
My dog is used to certain cues and certain things that happen at certain times of day, and
like feeding time.
and like when you like taking the kids to school.
Yeah.
She likes coming in the car. So she would.
Well, last Friday they were most confused really, because it was a very busy day. We had our end of year. For the first time for Mini Mutts, end of year client Christmas do. Client and shall I loosely say staff. These are people who help me or my lovely contractor, of course, Anne-Marie. And you know, we invited all our clients and had an end of year Christmas do, so we were getting ready for that. And so the dogs were like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Where are you going?" Oh, and they were all a little bit confused, but they were really, really good. I must say, they were very happy. They were like excited that they got to go into the new mini room that's not completely finished yet. And Anne-Marie brought her, what's it called?
An easy up.
Easy up for me, because rain was predicted, and boy did it rain.
Thunderstorm.
Oh, I know. It's been pretty mad, hasn't it, the weather?
Oh, yeah. But still the people came, so...
So how have you been finding that when you've been walking, the weather?
Well, I mean, there's no such thing really as bad weather. It's bad clothing, isn't it?
Yeah, you did
In the
right.
words of Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
And he was from Scotland, he was
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Exactly. You just have to do it.
Yeah. And there's other dogs mind, because
No,
my dog
I
doesn't
love
like the
Dogs
rain.
don't care. Oh,
These
majority
ones
of
don't
dogs
care.
don't care.
Yeah,
They
they're
don't
probably
care.
used to it though, aren't they? I suppose my dog's
Well.
got used to my previous sedentary life.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're out, you're out. You know,
Yeah.
they just want to go for a walk. They have a great time.
Yeah,
It's my poor truck that gets hammered when they come back.
full of mud.
Yeah, mud and wet. And so I just got another truck, actually, just as a mutt-mobile, I suppose.
So it doesn't smell of
That's
wet
what we
dog
call them.
permanently.
So gross, eh? So gross.
It's a particularly characteristic smell, isn't it, wet dog?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
And
special
dogs
to
who are
them.
in swamp. you know.
Swamp. Oh, I've never had dog in swamp.
Oh, it's gross.
Oh, God. No.
Yeah, it's not cool.
So when they go out, do you actually bring them back and clean them then?
No.
Or- no. They go back home smelling of swamp.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, in
I just
Anne-Marie's
don't have-
case, yes, in mine I do clean them when I get home.
Yeah, I
if
just
I've
don't
been
have
out.
time.
No, because
No.
you're just doing the walking side of it.
Yeah,
aren't you?
Exactly, and I mean the owners are. Nobody's complained at me yet.
No.
You know, yet. Been
Well, the
to
dog probably
avoid it.
comes home and goes to sleep, doesn't it? Rather
They're
than
just
being
naked, yeah. And yeah, they seem to be okay.
Yeah, I clean them up because they come back to my home
yes.
for the rest of the day.
And you don't want to smell like wet dog.
Not really, no. Because then my husband will get home at the end of the day and he goes, "Smells like dog."
You'd think you wouldn't smell it anymore, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no. Well, we actually went out for the afternoon yesterday. We were out most of the afternoon, and we got home, and cause the house had been closed up, of course, and we open it up, and he goes, "Smells like dog," even though I had vacuumed in the morning, cleaned, and everything. You know, it does have its own
Peculiar
scent.
aroma.
yeah.
I suppose you guys love it though because you love dogs.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it's easy to get rid of, and I mean, it's you know, you open the house up and air it out, and it's fine, and you can get deodorizers and light candles and you know stuff like that. So it's not that bad.
So I've seen you guys go out with the dogs. You do some pretty excellent, awesome things, don't you?
We go on really cool little day trips and stuff.
Because I follow your Facebook page. It's like quite entertaining. I don't have a dog that does daycare, but I follow it. You know, I see it, and I must click on it a lot because it keeps coming into my feed. So, but I love watching what you guys do. It's
Oh well, it
pretty
should
cool.
lessen over the next few weeks.
But no, but I obviously enjoy it. So, so what trips have you been on recently with the dogs?
Well, we haven't been on one for a wee while.
No, not
Anne-Marie
for a
tends to
couple
go
of
more
weeks.
than I do.
Yeah. Right now it's a lot of river because
Yeah.
it's getting really warm. So the dogs really need to get in the river, and it's a great way to actually clean them.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're watching the toxic algae
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to be careful, don't you?
levels, so I think the Ruamahanga will probably be out after Christmas.
I think it's out now.
Yeah.
Right now, it's so filthy, the Ruamahanga, just from all the rain, and it's come down from the hills. Up
Yeah.
And there's so
that's
many
right.
tributaries that feed into it, so you know that's where it all really comes from.
There are some cleaner rivers though in Wairarapa.
Yeah.
There are
There's
the
the
Tiranika's pretty good,
Yeah, Tiraniko.
and that's closer as well.
Up by Underhill Road as well, so I go up to the one up there. I don't take a lot of dogs up that way because that's the bottom of the Tararoas, and I'd hate to be that person who loses their dog.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
flow quite fast there, don't they?
Well, it's not just that, it's the whole Tararoas.
Yeah,
They might
Off
get
they
onto
go
a rabbit
bush.
and
yeah, they've gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend whose goat got out and headed up to the Tararoas, never to be seen again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
so a
we
lot of
do
river
go-
time.
Yeah, and we do go out to the beach.
Yeah, to Ocean Beach.
Yeah,
It's a nice drive, isn't it?
It is a nice drive. Anne-Marie tends to go because a lot of her clients are Martinborough based,
Yep.
so she goes around that way and down through the east-west access.
Yeah.
And I go down Western Lake.
We meet up
and
and then
we meet
just
up.
walk
Yeah.
the whole length of the beach and find treasures, and I take a lot of photos, so I capture a lot of moments with the dogs.
Treasures. The little treasures find treasures.
Yes. Yeah, they do. They find treasures, roll in the treasures.
And then we have to, live with that all the long drive back.
Oh, don't you love dogs, eh?
I know, and usually it's bath time after that when we get back, because there's no way I'm living with the smell for the rest of the day.
No. That's, I can imagine. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going to ask that question.
Well, it's a beach.
We can all relate to it when you roll in at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's their Chanel number 5, but I just say, no, it's Chanel number stink.
And dogs, it must be like a scenting thing. Yeah.
Yeah, what they
why
think is great, we don't.
I mean, mine even roll in flies. Like, they'll catch a fly, kill it, and then roll on it. I'm just like, what's the point? It's a fly, That's really quite...
Your dogs are special.
Oh, that's so special. Yeah.
Rolling flies, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cats do that too. Our cat does it as well.
What, rolls in flies? There must be a reason for that. I'm going to have to go and Google is your friend.
I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just a victory roll,
Yeah,
gotcha.
got it. Yeah, killed it.
Yeah.
My shepherd he caught one yesterday, and I was watching him, and he was trying to smell its little bottom. It was really funny. I was in hysterics. I was just like, and he was just being so gentle, and then in the end he just like stood on it and just thought, done, I'm out.
Yeah. Caught it.
Yeah.
That was my hunting win for the day.
I'll stand on you. And he literally just stomped on it and just went, "Meh," and walked off. He couldn't smell its stuff.
And they are funny, aren't the dogs? Because my dog's funny. I was, for a while, I would be doing this routine and wonder why the dog was getting triggered. And all I have to do now is pick my keys up and go right, and she jumps to the door. But I could say the word
It's a
right. The word
Yep.
right had become a cue, but every time I said it, any time,
Yep.
not just at that time, she started,
Yeah.
Where we go?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
right. Off she goes.
My cue for my own dogs is if I'm on my laptop, I'll close it and go, okay.
And
they're
they jump
all
up.
Jump to attention.
It's a bit like my right.
Yeah.
Pick my keys up, right.
Yeah,
She's off.
because usually that means something's going to happen and it's exciting and it's going to involve us. So, we've got to be on alert.
And then there became a sort of family meme that evolved from when we used to live at the other house. The chickens would come in the house and we go, chickens in the house, and she'd chase them out. So you can say chickens in the house and that triggers the dog.
Yeah.
But anything that rhymes with chickens. So now we've got chickens, tickets, cricket.
Oh my gosh, cricket's in the house.
Cricket. What was it? Chickens and a mouse.
Yeah.
So we've got like all these things that rhyme with chickens in the house.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's a tease.
I know, but she's quite good at that. And what was the other one? She's got lots of trigger words.
Yeah.
Because she's very clever. She's a border collie cross with a staffy.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's pretty clever. She can pretty much work it all out. But she's getting old now, so.
Aren't we all?
I know.
Yeah.
So where do you cover, Anne-Marie? Where do you cover what for your dog
so-
walks?
I go as far as Carterton right now. I haven't got the clientele to move on to Marsden. I need more people to justify my trip to Marsden
that's right.
to do that. So it's just basically South Wairarapa is where I am. People have seen me. Sometimes I would just turn up at a dog park and there might be a couple of people there and I'm like, "You right if I come in?" They're like, yeah. And I'm like, "I've got 10 dogs." And they're like, "What? No way." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" "Okay." And they just all go in. They go mad for about 5 minutes and some
they
people
calm
freak out and then some people don't. And
Yeah.
some people are brave enough to walk through the middle of us, So all the dogs, the criteria is they have to have some level of a socialisation.
Yeah.
Because I throw them in my truck, I can't have dog fights in my truck.
No.
And also I can't put other dogs at risk.
No, that's right.
So if they have social problems, they generally ride in the cab with me until they understand what we're doing, and they ride shotgun and talk to them and just and then we'll head out and we're like, "Now we've talked about this, okay, this is what to do and what not to do." So but so we just travel all around, find the best place. We try to stay away from other people because some people just don't like the idea of having 10 dogs off lead, because I run them off lead.
Yeah.
And they tend to stick together, but you might have the odd young one that will be like, "Oh, I'm going to take off and go see this person." And majority of the time you can control the rest of the pack, but then there might be a person like, oh, your dog ran up to mine, and they may have social problems. Their dog may have social problems.
Well, that's right, yeah, because my dog does, so
Yeah.
she's not very... She was a rescue dog, so we didn't socialise her at a young age, so she's...
I have a theory that if these dogs are off leash, then they're clearly okay.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
But some people don't understand that. They think that every dog should be on a leash.
Because you're experienced and you've got all these big dogs and you know that they come to recall, don't you?
Yes,
So that's you wouldn't put... I think a professional, if I saw a professional out walking a load of dogs, I'd know that person was going to be able to handle 10 dogs.
had them under control.
Yeah. Yeah, and if your dog, not ourselves, but if your dog has an anxiety problem, they need to obviously address that. Don't go into an off-leash area with somebody.
With your dog on leash, or, into the middle of a pack, which has happened.
Yeah.
Like I've had that happen to me. Someone's come in with their dogs on leash into the middle of my pack, yelling and screaming and carrying on.
And not understanding that your dogs are perfectly fine.
And that actually they've done the wrong thing. They should have gone around, and they could have gone around me and that sort of stuff, or whatever, because we had nowhere to go because they were in the path of where we were going. It was on a bridge.
It's very difficult, that, isn't it? It's difficult to... Because not everybody understands what dogs require.
No,
but I know, being at your place, that you've got a lot of passion for dogs and empathy and genuine love for these dogs. Yeah, so it's really nice to see that. And I know Barbara would never put herself in those situations where dogs would get harmed.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't want to harm other dogs as well.
Oh, you don't want your dogs to be harmed because they're in your care, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But going back to what Anne-Marie was saying before about taking her dogs to the dog park, when recently Anne-Marie had some surgery and I covered for her for the first few weeks, and I had the pack at the Martinborough dog park, and I got there and there was no one there, and I went in, but some people came in and joined and that sort of thing. This is on one particular day. Anyway, I met one of these ladies who said she had driven past, seen me in there with all of the dogs, went home specifically to get her dog and come back, and so her dog could socialise with the pack.
Oh, that's quite cool, isn't it?
And I thought that was really, really cool. And, it's really, really amazing. And then on another occasion, I had someone come with her dogs just about to come into the dog park, and I was just sitting relaxed with the pack doing a little bit of training by the entrance to the dog park. And she says, oh, are they okay? And of course they went excited because these new dogs were coming in. And I said, yep, just hold on a second while I organise them, get them away from the gate. But before I had a chance to, she'd actually opened the gate to come in.
Oh dear, and you don't want your dogs running off?
Oh, some of them did, unfortunately, and they got out on the road, and and she's like, oh, sorry, and she quickly walked off and left me to clean up the mess, so to speak. Luckily no one was hurt and no traffic came along, but it's really scary, when you're there like that, if people can just wait a minute while you get the pack away, like I would have taken them away from the gate.
So do they not have a double gate at that park?
Not at that, they do, but the other end you have to either go right round the block to get to the other side, or...
Because you've got that kind of thing going on at your place, haven't you, where you have to go through two lots.
Oh yeah,
of
I've got
don't-
an airlock.
They don't have that at dog parks.
No, they don't do that.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because that would
They do in the Tower one.
Yeah.
Having that airlock.
Yeah, they do in Timaru as well. They've got a great dog
So
park.
come on, Wairarapa councils, let's get some double locks on our dog parks.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because in Featherston itself there is a dog park initiative group has formed, and they've actually asked me for pictures of my airlock, because they're looking at putting those in at the Featherston Park.
Because it just makes things a lot easier. If it was kids, they'd have done that by now, eh? Yeah. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
And it gives you a chance to actually just unleash your dog as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you should, when you walk into a dog park, be unleashed, because it's
an off-leash area.
And that's the best way to introduce dogs, is off-leash, because you don't want to be tangled up if it goes all wrong.
No.
Yeah, and also it gives dogs space when they first meet each other to move away from each other if they can, whereas if you've got them on leash, they feel trapped.
Yeah.
And it makes them more anxious.
Yeah,
and if you're
imagine.
anxious as well, they go straight down the lead to the dog, and they understand. They're like, "Whoa!" Start freaking out because you're freaking out. So it's just, honestly, just use
common sense.
and
really.
some logic around That's all it is.
And it is, I suppose, as well. You've got these. I used to watch I think, what was it, Dog Whisperer back in England. You know, and you've learned
Caesar
pick up.
Milan?
I can't remember which one it was. There was a woman in England that would do it. I think it was a woman who did it. Gosh, too many years ago, about 10 years ago, and they were talking about keeping the dog in a pack because that's their behaviour, you know. So you go in before the dog and things like that, you know.
Yeah, you are the alpha. So, you've got to do everything before them.
Yeah, and some people don't actually understand that that's how to keep your dog in check, do they? They sort of overindulge the dog becomes the baby, the dog then takes over because it's
a really
the
big
alpha.
word for that.
Yeah, because
that's with an A. And the lie, I can't even say it. It's basically us humanising dogs.
Yeah.
And rather than actually, because they are an animal at the end
That's
of the day.
right.
So
And they have particular requirements, not human ones.
Yeah. So and you've got to be confident around them as well, because they know if you're not confident, then they think they have to take over. Because you know someone's got to be the confident one.
Yeah, and we have that with the. I've been trying to sort of. My kids don't always understand that when the dog goes to its quiet space, they're not supposed. Don't touch it. You know,
Yeah.
If she's gone there. That's her place. You know, she wants to be on her own, so don't mess with her. You know,
Like chili on Friday.
yeah.
So you got to sort of teach your children how to be around dogs as well.
Yeah,
haven't
that's
you?
right. Oh, that's really important, is teach kids how to be around dogs, especially how to approach them, and always ask the owner first.
Yeah.
The child and the parent, preferably if the parent's there. If the child wants to pet the dog or whatever, to ask the owner first. If the owner's not around, don't even bother going near it.
Well,
You just do not know
You don't know
what
do
the
you?
dog's going to do, unless you know the dog personally really well.
And then
or
that's not
whatever.
always
And then
the case.
that's not always the case.
I've got a
With
psycho
your little one.
foxy. He knows Barb so well. But
And yet he still gives me Elvis lip.
Well, it's quite interesting because my dog will
occasion.
surprise me on occasion. I was sat in the car waiting to pick up my child from school. She was sat in the back with me, and this guy come across the car and put his hand on the bonnet, and it looked quite threatening. The dog got on guard, like she was going to have this man.
Yeah, she's protecting you and her property. She says the vehicle
and
is her
it was just
property.
like he just lunged a little bit over the bonnet, you know. And
he
he wasn't
probably just lost his balance a little.
Yeah,
or something going
It
around the
wasn't
car.
even threatening, but the dog found it,
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
and the dog saw a different side of her then. You know, that I don't generally see, because when I'm in my home, it's like people come and I go, oh yeah, it's all right, Tessa, this person's fine, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, she calms down. She loves having visitors, but I've never seen her on guard like that before.
Yeah,
so,
it's good.
yeah,
It's
good.
it was
But you
good.
know she'll protect you.
Well,
Yeah,
and I
that's
know that
right.
if she's with the kids, she'll protect
Yeah.
them as well. So
Yeah, like Anne-Marie's little one, I mean, he's all over me like a rash 90% of the time. And yet just occasionally, he was sitting on my lap one day when we were going somewhere, and I started talking to him and he was on my lap and he's like, and I'm like,
Right, you can get off. Get in the back. Yeah.
I'm not in the mood today.
yet I'll sit on your lap.
He
Out
was
to
so-
sit here, but don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of a sort of what's the word? Drama queen.
Oh, it's very much so. I was in the States in November and Barb Snapchatted me with Sasuke because she was coming in to let him out, and he was in bed, like literally in bed, under the covers, arms up, and she was like, "Come on!" He's like, she's like, "Whoa!" What? So she videoed him and showed him to me. It was so
like,
bad. It was hilarious.
And
Nobody's here. I'm in bed.
And
Yeah.
yet the day before, he'd greeted me like a long lost, relative, a long lost
He just
friend.
didn't want to
Like,
get out of
I
bed.
love you. But this particular morning, nah, he wasn't having any of it. I'm like, well, I'm not going near you.
And then the big scary shepherd that roams my house and my yard was like, "Hey, what are you doing?
Lick me
Hey,
to
baby,
death.
hey, baby.
Hey, what are we doing? Got a ball? Are we going to play?"
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're such lovely dog shepherds, because we had one of them when I was a kid. You know, lovely dogs. Have you got a passion for shepherds?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love them.
She so does.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're amazing, loyal dogs,
yeah.
and they're so clever.
They are.
They're so intelligent, and they can learn up to 146 words.
Jeez.
So
Yeah.
Tan knows a few. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very intelligent. We had this German Shepherd dog. You could take it for a walk, and the minute, like, we used to live on a main street where people used to walk about, and lots of people walked about on it. But you could smell a dropped pie from about 300 metres and would take off. And you'd be like, "Oh God, she smelled some food or something." Very motivated by food. This dog.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
And she was quite good at judging people's characters.
Yeah.
Like anybody could come to the house, but my boyfriend of the time, when it was like 15, 16, she hated him.
Then did you take cue from that?
Well, we weren't together very long,
Oh, there you go.
but we had to put him in the garden, her in the garden, and
Yeah.
she would still
Snarl and
saliva.
wow.
But he used to run greyhounds.
Right. He's probably
She
thinks
probably
that.
thought he was a dog. He
No.
smelled of dogs.
Yeah.
And he used to do
Racing.
yeah, and
Ground-
hair
yeah.
coursing and stuff like that, which wasn't very PC at the time.
Mm.
And I don't know whether there was something that she
She
sensed
just didn't like it
about
maybe.
that. It was interesting though.
Yeah, and they do know. They do know, if they should be there or should not be there.
But that was the only person.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess Saskia was telling me I shouldn't be there.
Oh, he was in bed.
Filming him.
He was in bed.
He was in
Don't
bed.
upset him.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, don't you move me.
My grandma had a poodle, a poodle cross dog when I was a kid, and we just knew we couldn't touch it. And if it was, you couldn't even talk to it. Go under the table. That was its place where it went. You go, hello, Bennett. Go, grrr. Good morning, Ben.
Haven't had coffee yet.
Yeah.
Definitely that. Yeah. It's like I don't know why she had that dog.
I'm not a morning dog.
It wasn't a friendly dog at all. It never was friendly with anyone.
It's funny, eh? Funny what little dogs are like.
I know. They're awesome. Oh gosh, we got 10 o'clock. I'll play some music because I like to put at least one song in my
In the program.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to play some Spank, but I think I'll go and play something else instead. Let's have a look what we got. Oh yeah, I'm going to play some Groove Lagoon. It's kind of day for Groove Lagoon. I love this band, and they're my favourite. This is Shiver. You're listening to 92.7 Arrow FM, and this is the Nothing Personal Show with Nikki King. We are sponsored by Wairarapa Osteopathy and Fuzzbox Designs, and I've got just a few shout-outs to do for Wairarapa Women in Business. Madeline from Aratoi has just put a little message on my Facebook page to say, if your kids are bored during the holidays, well, mine actually told me they were bored yesterday, so that doesn't bode well, does it really? I've got 8 weeks of boredom to deal with and work from home at the same time. That's going to be very interesting. If your kids are bored during the holidays, send them to Aratoi. So that's where I'm going to send him. I'm going to send him to Aratoi. There's a huge photo show on, about 100 pictures, and a free activity too, open every day 10 till 4. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? You can go over to Aratoi, find something for your kids to do. Also, my business has just released a load of courses that are going to happen in the new year at 3 Mile. So if you want to learn, there's a one called Facebook for Newbies. That's for people who have never managed a Facebook page before, or they are in the very beginning of it, or they're just not confident. So if you want to book onto the Facebook for Newbies, you can do. And there's a Facebook masterclass, an advertising masterclass, and that is running as well. I think that's the first one on the 18th of January. Then I'm running an Instagram course, which is going to be quite a bit of fun. I'm going to do, first of all, with that course, we're going to hook up all your social media. So we're going to hook up the Instagram to the Facebook, and we're going to show you all of that and the basics of it. Then we're going to go out on the street and capture some Instagram. Going to be fun. Let's go out and find what we can on the street that's going to relate to our business, that makes some interesting content. And the last one, if you've got a WordPress website, so some of my clients have got those and want to learn how to manage it themselves. I've got a WordPress, managing your own WordPress website. So that'll go through the basics of managing your own website and how to do certain things with WordPress, which is another valuable course. And, we can set up a basic WordPress for you if you want to have one to play with on the day. So if you haven't got a website, we can just set the basic thing up, and that'll be fairly cheap. So just get in touch with us. We're fuzzbox.co.nz. All the training courses are under the training section, and we're going to be at 3 Mile, which is cool. It's a fabulous space for training, and we're looking forward to working with Marie Claire in the future. So that's really cool. We've got that going on. So hop over and have a look at that. But there's plenty of stuff going on in the Wairarapa Women in Business page. Lots and lots of offers and promotions. There was and Flow, there's got some reusable products pinned to the top, and there's some. I think there was a discount on those. There's lots of offers pinned up to the top of the women's page for you. So there's benefits to being part of our Facebook group. Now we've got mini mutts in the studio today, and well, they're not just mini mutts, they are actually, we've got any mutts, which is the dog walking section of the business, and Marie does real-time clocks, which are fabulous. They're massive clocks. I love clocks. I'm still my ambition is to own one of these clocks, which I will do one day. So hello ladies.
Hello.
Hello. So we've been talking dogs and everything dogs, and but I know you guys have got some exciting things happening this week, haven't you? You're off to a concert?
Yes, I'm actually flying up to Auckland this afternoon.
Well, you've just got such a busy life.
Yeah, flying up with my daughter, and we are staying up in Auckland for 2 nights.
So who are you seeing?
Going to Shania Twain.
Oh, I saw you were excited when you got the tickets.
Yeah. It's been quite a year for concerts for us, actually. I always swore that if a couple of my all-time favourite artists came to the country, then I would have to go to their concerts, and blow me down with a feather, they didn't all decide to come this year.
Oh. Do you know what? I'm waiting for a band called Placebo to come to New Zealand. Hey, they're my all-time favourite band ever, and they keep going to Australia and missing out New Zealand. So I'm going to have to eventually afford to go over to Australia and watch them, I think. Yeah. But Placebo, I know you're probably not going to be watching Nothing Personal with Nikki King. But if Brian Molko is watching this, please come to New Zealand.
Yeah, put it out there in the universe. And
I'm putting it out there because I really want to see them live. The year I left the UK, they played live in the UK.
Of course they did.
Yeah. Yep. Well,
And I
my,
miss
my
them.
ultimate all-time favourite ever band, I don't think will ever come to New Zealand. In fact, when I was 10 years old, I could not understand why my parents wouldn't let me go to Australia to see them on my own. I understand that now, but at the time I
So
couldn't
what's
figure
your
it
favourite band?
out. ABBA.
ABBA. Oh God, ABBA are so good, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
The melodies, the harmonies, the beats, they're just
Everything.
infectious. Do you like ABBA?
They're okay.
Different generation.
No. So I would listen to them. And
So what sort of music do you like?
I'm actually off to the summer concert. It's called, is it the summer concert? It's the one at in the Hut
Oh yeah.
on Waitangi Eve with Aussie Crawl, Jimmy Barnes.
Love them too.
Oh yes, I saw that advertised. Jimmy Barnes was looking for a support band for the one in the hut.
Yeah.
And I put Spank forward.
Oh, nice.
Not
I
heard
love Jimmy
anything.
Barnes. I love Jimmy Barnes.
I was like,
yeah.
we could
They're
get a
good.
big stadium gig.
Yeah.
I like a broad spectrum of music.
Yeah,
I
same.
think
I like
same.
anything really but rap. I'm not
No,
really into rap.
that's probably one of my rap, and I'm not huge on jazz, I must say.
Just there's certain kinds of jazz.
Just
that
certain
are-
kinds,
Yeah, that
I
are
like
really
the more
out
fun.
there, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like
I like the more fun
improvised
upbeat
jazz.
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
It's like, ooh, that's a bit far out.
yeah.
But they're very talented, those musicians. They know so many scales, but it's just not
yeah. And with rap,
listenable.
I don't really get it.
I
No.
don't get rap.
Yeah,
Do you mean the hip hop rap or the rap?
No,
Just
they're
the
really.
whole-
I don't like
Yeah.
the violent rap.
No,
You know?
no. And everybody's doing hip hop these days. I was talking to Ryan Coles. Shout out to Ryan and the Dead Zephyrs yesterday about that. Like my boy's in his bedroom writing hip hop music, and
That's
yeah.
okay. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
generally it's pretty clean, but then, yeah.
Yeah, there is some violent
stuff.
rap, isn't there? There is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then at the end of the week, we're diverging from
What we're
mutts
here for.
to Gigi's, aren't we?
Yeah, so
Oh,
we're,
yeah, oh,
we're
yeah,
going to
that's
pick up a horse.
Shh.
Wairarapa, we're going to pick up a horse. We actually have an empty float heading up as far as Taupo. We're
Nice.
actually as far as Tauranga if anybody needs a horse taken up. So,
Well, that's a good idea, actually.
yeah, but, yeah, with an experienced driver myself. So, but we don't have an empty float coming back.
No.
Yes.
Is it a single or double float?
It's a double float.
Oh, there you
yeah.
go. We have one space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, are you planning to have a menagerie?
Well, yeah. It's heading that way. Much to my husband's horror.
We could go. You could open it up as a petting zoo.
Oh, I did.
Get a couple of llamas, a
Yeah.
few pigs.
Did you hear
I've
about?
always I wanted to get chickens too, but
No.
because our property is quite exposed and we get quite a bit of wind, I think the chicken
away.
coop would go flying pretty quickly.
You'd end up with them all on
So-
your deck.
Yeah, I don't think he'd like that.
No, I've been there.
We've got the neighbour's pet sheep at the moment, and with the horses that we do currently have, and my neighbour told me that Daffodil, the head lamb, so to speak, quite likes coming and visiting in your lounge. So I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't have an actual problem with it, but I think my husband would.
You'd smell of sheep then.
Well, yeah, it's quite a different smell to
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah.
Lanolin.
Oh yeah, nice and greasy.
Yeah. I like sheep. I love sheep. I was made up when we moved to New Zealand. There was sheep everywhere.
Yeah, well, I grew up on a sheep cattle cropping farm,
Yeah.
so you know I've been through most of the animals.
I remember my husband when I first met him. It was first year, I think, or first year we were together. We went off on a holiday to North Wales, and he brought me a camera, and all my pictures were sheep. It's like, oh, sheep.
Yeah,
Oh, look, some more sheep. Sheep moving. So you look through my pictures through that time before we had kids, it was all sheep. Because you just got walking and
Yeah.
there's sheep everywhere.
Well, my mum had a coloured flock of sheep,
Oh, nice.
and basically we weren't allowed pet lambs because you know we were a sheep farm, a fat lamb farm. But if we did have a pet lamb, it was only allowed to be a coloured one because then it would be entered into mum's flock.
Yeah.
Because Dad would shear the sheep and she'd spin the wool and knit and all that sort of stuff. So
Nice.
grew up with all of that sort of thing.
So the natural woolies and
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Itchy, scratchy.
Yeah, you'd think with all the lanolin they'd be nice and oily and soft.
The wool was well washed and
Well
that sort of stuff
carded,
by
probably,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got a client that I'm coming up to do some work with in the new year who's got a coloured flock, and she's going to be doing artisan fleeces and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to
cows. That. Look like they've been dipped.
Oh, that have got black on the front and white on the back.
Oh no, they're like black at the back, white in the middle.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
It looks like they've
That's
dipped them, and they
that's
have
this type of breed.
Yeah, no, but it looks like. Oh no, it's not going to fit. Or I'll try the other way. No,
It does. It does.
So I call them dip cows. You know.
Isn't it funny what you call these things? Eh? You have these little
It's
nicknames.
a specific type of breed, and I can't, off the top of my head, recall exactly what the breed is now. But
And there's a couple of
Say
dip
it and I'll
sheep
say it.
as well. There's the dip sheep. Yeah.
It's funny what you give things a nickname for, because they're them sort of water birds. I can't remember what they're called now. We call them EBGBs because they go. Have you heard them ones?
Yeah. They talk away to themselves. Are they punters?
plovers.
Plovers,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
We call them EBGBs in our family.
Oh, they
fly over going.
They squawk around our place
They're
about
so
3 in the
busy, eh?
morning.
They're just like having arguments with each other all the time.
Oh yeah.
I was at Henley Lake the other day and they had baby ones and they were really fast. Like, shh! Isn't that baby EBGBs there? And the kids were going to look at them and they were swooping the kids because the babies were there. Because they're like magpies. They were like swooping the kids, eh?
Yeah,
We have the magpies and the plovers all fighting around our house, and then the hawks come in.
And they all go.
Oh, honestly, we get our own air show.
Yeah. All these little sort of interactions. I suppose with you having packs of dogs and lots of animals around you, you notice those interactions a little bit more.
Well, the air shows happen when the dogs aren't there. When the dogs are there, it's
They don't
no
come.
air shows. But they're not afraid of our own 2 little ones. But when the whole pack's there, then they don't hang around so much. But weekends and evenings and early in the morning, they'll be out and doing their
We've got kiddadoos right now.
Oh, kiddadoos.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And they're cheeky, eh? Like, they keep racking up my dogs. They'll come straight in. And they're really low, and you hear them coming, they're like, and Tan will jump at them. And he can jump really high. And they just sit there on the branch going, come on in, come on. Bouncing away.
But I read somewhere that they get drunk on
they do.
fermented
berries,
fruits.
Yeah, I've had a few smash into our windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
When we lived in our other place, we had an ornamental cherry tree at the front with the ornamental fruit, and they get
so
totally smashed on it. On them.
That's so funny, to watch them. And they fly like this. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, no, I'm not going to make it. Not going to make it. Yeah. Or they're at high speed. And just smash into our windows.
I had a few bird strikes up my windows, eh? They don't half make you jump. It's like, what was that? Somebody shooting at my window or something.
Yeah, they've made the dogs jump when that's happened occasionally as well.
Yeah. So have you still got I know that when I've been around, you've got some good personalities going on in your pack. Is Larry back yet?
No. Larry sadly may not come back. He's moved to Wellington.
Oh gosh, no, he's become upper class, has he?
Yeah.
Sasuke loves Larry.
Oh,
He misses Larry.
I used to love
We
Larry.
see him still occasionally.
I saw a bit of me and Larry.
Did you? Is it the peering out the window?
The cheeky bit, you know.
It looks like a teddy, eh? Like
Yeah.
sits there at the window.
And he was always like cheeky. He was always naughty, a little bit naughty,
Yeah,
but not
he's-
really naughty.
He's the class distraction, shall we say? I've now got 2 of those, 2 Larrys.
Lucy and Ollie.
Yeah, how'd you guess?
That's so cute, but yes, they're 2 Larrys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though Larry's not there, I've now got kind of 2 of them.
Yeah, so you've lost one and gained 2 more.
Yeah. So if he was there as well, can you imagine?
I should get down and come and spend some time and hang out with the mini mutts.
Just watch them.
They're
they do
fun.
have their own personality.
Yeah.
Every single one.
I
of
think
them.
last time was they had the healers, the barky ones.
Yes,
Oh,
I've got
the
them now.
kelpies.
Yeah, the kelpies.
Kelpies.
Yeah, I have them now.
They
Yeah.
bark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything's like really quiet at my house. It's not like Pips, sorry, it's not like Babs.
Hello, Pip, Jill Barker.
And one of them would just go, woof. And then they're like, whoa, and I'm just like, what? No.
Just one woof and that
Yeah.
sets
Yeah,
them off.
I've one dog. She'll do that. She won't even see anything. She'll just go woof in her sleep, and the whole pack goes.
They just explode.
Yeah. It's like, really? Why did you do that?
Don't you know that she's just sleeping and saying woof?
Yeah.
You know?
I sometimes think they just see a sparrow fart or something, and off they go.
Yeah.
I
Blade
can't
of
imagine
grass
that.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my dog, this is another thing that's started to get to me though, you know, it's like sometimes I whack on Spank in the car and do a bit of a rehearsal when I'm driving. Goodness knows what people think of me when I'm driving. They think I'm shouting at them or something, but I'm singing. The dog has taken to...
Singing with you?
Yes. But I can't put it on in the car anymore now because she sings if I don't.
That's
And it is
brilliant.
just Spank, because if I switch that off, it doesn't...
Oh,
If it's any other music,
that's awesome.
it's because she
You
knows
should
it's
video
you, you
that.
see.
It's so
I'm going to
good.
do it.
Yeah.
It's just barking. She
Yeah.
doesn't actually sing, but it's
Yeah.
barking.
Yeah.
It's her
And
singing.
That's her way of talking. So.
Actually, when you do Let's Do It Again and the trumpet comes in, she sort of gets ready and she goes, oh, oh, oh. She knows the singing is
Trying to
coming.
get at you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sing in a minute.
yeah.
Warm myself up
Well,
to this.
Speaking of singing, when the sirens go off in town, because in Featherston we have the
Yeah.
volunteer firefighters, of course, and the sirens go up, you can hear them quite well from our place.
Yep.
And I'll often have up to 8 dogs out on the deck howling
Oh,
along,
my
along
word.
with it. Yeah,
You should video that.
I have tried to a few times, and I've managed to a couple of times
Yeah, I've got them video. I mean,
at your
howling.
place.
Yeah, they're like a bunch of
Um,
wolves.
Yeah. And they have also howled in my car,
Yeah, they do
in the
that.
van, as I'm driving. When I do pickups in the morning, Ollie and Lucy, I love them to bits, get in the car and they start to bark and howl with excitement, so the others all pick up. And they all go howling, and I'm driving along and these dogs are all howling around me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so funny.
I know, he's just like,
But
I should get it onto a video. And...
I can't while I'm driving.
No, you know, them dash cams that turns round, eh?
Yeah.
Do carpool karaoke.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
the
for
dogs.
That'd be awesome.
It's viral. That's a potentially viral thing, that isn't it? Carpool
Yeah.
karaoke with
Oh,
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so you should close now for the
For the year.
foreseeable.
Yeah.
But you're open back
on
up.
the 7th of January.
And have you got any spaces for dogs if people want to put their dogs in daycare in the new year?
I have got a few spaces, yeah. Especially now that Anne Marie's taken over a couple from me. Yeah. I've just got to
Just make contact.
Yeah. So
get in touch and
so they can contact you through your Facebook page.
yeah, and I
or-
like to do a meet and greet
Yeah.
with the dogs when I've got the rest
Yeah.
of the pack with me, because that's important, that to be able to see if they
gel.
will gel and that they'll be accepted by everybody else and that they accept them.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. And I just need to sort of, check them over and ascertain whether they'll be good for me, what their record's like, whether they like me and I like them, and that sort of stuff.
And
So-
that they're not going to upset those dynamics.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a bit of a change when a new dog enters the pack, but it doesn't. It just takes a couple of weeks for them to settle down, especially when they come regularly. If they're coming
Yep.
2 or 3 days a week, great. If they're only coming once a month, once a fortnight, once every couple of months, it's a bit trickier.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And then the dog walking, is that the same? Starting back on the 7th?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yep.
See how it goes. It's a bit lax, eh? Yeah, it just depends,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
on what I'm doing,
Yeah.
where I'm at.
And whether other people, I find also at that time of the year, people, a lot of them are still on holidays as
Yeah,
well.
they go
so-
away, don't they, till like the end
Yeah.
of
So you
February.
sort of ease back into the year
Do you know,
again.
that's what's great about New Zealand after Christmas. Like in Britain, it's like, all right, 1st of January, 2nd of January, back to work. Everybody's like, ooh. But here it's like you've got a whole season of
Yeah.
Christmas, really, haven't you, and holidays that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And
Because it's our summer break too.
I know,
so.
yeah, it's great. And it all generally just eases back in, but, after Christmas.
And you start working there, it's like, oh, hey, it's Waitangi weekend. Oh, your long weekend. Oh,
Yeah.
it's Wellington anniversary.
I know
Yeah,
you get 2
yeah.
more holidays. It's like, yay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The first few months of the year always, it seems like we just got public weekends and long weekends one
Yeah.
after the other almost. And,
That's great.
And so
and then
much.
by the end of the year when we're shattered, of course, there's only Labour weekend and that.
Yeah. There's so much going on in the Wairarapa as well. And so they can get in touch with you about your clocks. They can go hop over to your clocks. Do you want a last minute gift? Real-time clocks, is that right?
Real time.
Yeah.
REEL.
So the reels, so that's real, play on words.
Yeah.
And go over there. And she said she's making some today and she's got some.
Yes. Yeah, I've got 2, I think. I just sold quite 2.
It's Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
So people will be buying these things.
So, and they're not, like I said, they're not all the same. I've got a really cool blue one right now with a white face. It's really awesome. It's,
that sounds nice.
I'm actually thinking about it for myself.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Nudge the husband, real-time clock.
Yeah. You like it? I'll put a picture up. I've just got to go pick it up because it's on the coast right now. So
no worries.
I'll go pick it up.
I will get one in the new year if I don't get one now. Definitely.
Yeah, and just contact me as well.
Because they're cool. I love clocks. My granddad's dad, my great-grandfather was a clock mender. So I think the genetic thing has passed, the genetic memory down. So I love clocks. Clocks are one of my favourite things. So head on over to Real Time. If you want to contact Mini Mutts, you can go over to their Facebook page. All the contact details are on there.
Yeah, and
Same
we've also got Instagram.
Any Mutts as well.
And Any Mutts.
And you've got a website that's about to go live.
Exciting stuff.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yeah, so that's...
And is that minimuts.co.nz?
I think so.
It is minimuts.co.nz, yes.
There you go.
I think so.
Yeah.
There you go.
But we're also on Instagram, so...
Yes, and you're very active on Instagram, aren't you?
Well, my daughter, she runs the Instagram page for me because I have no clue.
That's really cool, though, when you got somebody doing that for you. Because you can do that. You can delegate all your stuff out.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's pretty onto it.
Well, we're getting towards the end of the show now. It's gone so fast. Again, you know, I've got all these plans in my head because I don't actually script this, guys. It's just I'd like these things to be quite informal and see where we end up. And I always think, I must say this, must say that, must that. I get to the end and like, oh crap.
Have you done any plugging? Did anyone leave a message?
There wasn't so many plugs this morning, but I am going to plug my gym.
Yes.
Yeah, I started in July. I started my CrossFit journey, and I have lost 11 kilos since then.
Yeah, she gave them to me.
Well, you can come to CrossFit.
Oh, you're up here and I'm down there.
Anyone can do CrossFit. I can tell you. You can follow my journey, nikkiscrossfitjourney.nz, if you want to see what I've been doing. I levelled up. Yay! That was my big thing. I levelled up. I was on the white band and now gone to the yellow band. So that's really cool. So thank you, CrossFit Mania. If you want to learn, get fit in the new year, CrossFit Mania. If you want to do it in a team situation, I know there's lots of fitness ladies on Wairarapa Women in Business. Juliette Qualtrough, is it? She's got a different. So if you're not into the whole hard out thing like I'm into of CrossFit, there's other options. But get fit in the new year. I can absolutely tell you that it's changed my life this year. It's changed my life, so it's well worth taking that on. There's lots and lots. Make sure if you want to join the Wairarapa Women Business Group, head over to Facebook, search Wairarapa Women in Business, and you will be able to join if you've got a business. Answer a few questions. I don't let people in if they don't answer the questions. So we've just come to the end of our show. I'm going to have to say goodbye to Barbara and Anne-Marie. Thank you so much for being fabulous guests.
Thank you for having us.
I'm sure we'll be back.
Oh, no, I always love yes.
Maybe next time we'll bring the dogs into the studio.
Yes, I'll check with Michael. I'm sure he'll let us do that, though. But we've been listening to 92.7 Arrow FM. This show goes out again on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. It's on Wairarapa TV at 12 noon, 6 p.m, 5 p.m. today, and 11 p.m, and then it's on Wairarapa TV tomorrow at 6 p.m. So you can go over to YouTube and look at the Nothing Personal playlist, or you can download the app for Wairarapa TV and watch it there. So lots of options. So you've been listening to 92.7 Arrow FM. I've got Adi McMaster on next week, so tune in for our Christmas show. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.